Fountains. And don't forget, those famous microbrews are also available in kegs for your next party or in 6-packs and growlers to go. So grab your crew and head to Smoky Mountain Brewery and tell them Fan Run Radio sent you. Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
Fall fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Grab a pack, grab your friends. Everything else in life can wait. Your friends shouldn't. Let's go. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio. You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Just a really, really sad day as we welcome you in. Sad stuff. Sad stuff. You know, you don't even know what to say when things like that happen. You just... Those of you listening outside the area and haven't heard, we lost one of our own in the local Tennessee press corps scene and community. And really just a kind of an all-around sweet guy, really, Wes Rucker. And just kind of happened quickly yesterday on the highway. So today's show dedicated in his memory and his honor. And, oh man, we had a chance to work with him. Brian and I, back at, the Tennessee Sports Radio days, back in the old J-Bay days, when Wes did a show following us, and we would throw it to him in the middle of the afternoon. And Bri, you would interact with him all the time there, and that just rips your heart out, man. Rips your heart out. Vino, we've been doing too much of this lately, haven't we, brother?
Amen to that, Tony. It's just tragic news. Really heartbroken for his young family, for all of his family and his friends. I was a weekend guy back in those days when you were Saturday guy back in those days when you were working with Wes. I didn't get the privilege of meeting him, but know of his work, appreciate his work. And as you say, Tony, there's just nothing to say. I guess the only thing that you can say is just love your family and your friends. Let them know. Do all the good you can for all you can while you can, because this is just a temporary dwelling place for us.
Yeah, it's I'm not a good sleeper anyway, but like last night, it was just so disturbing. trying to get that out of my mind. But you know, at the end of the day, I just hurt for, like you're talking about, his wife, his children. A friend of mine last night, his father died real young, and he was telling me, he said, you know, stuff like that, when it happens, he was like, before he was 10 years old, and he said, he's an adult now. He said, it just immediately, I go to that spot, you know. So here we are. It's a Friday. We dedicate today's show. If somebody wants to share the GoFundMe account, like over on our Twitter page, we'll put it up. And I'll post it on the blog as well. You know, in the Knoxville media thing, we're kind of all in this love together, you know? So I got really, really, really hurt for his wife and all of his loved ones and friends in the area. And he's from a local family. And just praise God for us getting a chance to be here together every day.
Amen.
And the sport thing is such a fun. And Wes, I guess the last thing he tweeted looking at it was about the women's hockey game yesterday. He was just a guy that loved every sport. Loved it. And loved being a part of it. Loved being a part of it so much that we used to kind of tease about it on the air, about how much he would tweet and live on Twitter and all that stuff. Just hard to comprehend. But you know, Wes, if he were here, he'd say, hey, man, talk about that great sports weekend. Celebrate the great sports weekend. Celebrate, you know, what's going to happen here, which is what we do in our corner of the world. And here we go. Tennessee basketball's got a huge game tomorrow with Vanderbilt. That Vanderbilt team's going in the wrong direction. Tennessee's playing well. One of the things we were talking about in the aftermath of the Oklahoma game is one of the great aspects of playing in a league like the Southeastern Conference, maybe to some extent the Big 12, maybe to some extent the ACC, and also the major leagues up there in the Big 18, is that you get stretched and you see all different types of teams and you get in all kinds of environments. That said, I'm not sure there's an environment like Vanderbilt in the country. And I'm not trying to glaze the Vandy fan, but y'all have an arena that ought to be illegal. You know, it ought to be illegal. Make it a crime to be out in the cold. A little bit of Barbra Streisand there. But, you know, that's not a bad jam right there. You got nothing to be guilty of. That's not a bad jam. Guilty that Barry Gibb wrote for her and sung with her. You're trying to crack, but that's not a bad jam right there, Bino. An adult contemporary jam from back in the day with Babs.
I'm not cracking at all, Tony. I'd have to hear it to remember.
Because you got nothing to be guilty of. I love climb any mountain. That's a great jam,
Oh,
Bino.
yeah. Okay.
That's a great jam. That's a great jam.
I don't know about great.
Bino, I cannot take for the life of me that stadium down there. That awful stadium. Even though we did a bus trip there one year. Bri, were you on our bus trip that one year when I think it was during the Buzz Peterson years?
I think so.
I think it was a Buzzball Patrol. We went down on a
Yeah.
Saturday night and watched the Vols
was.
win.
Yeah. We were all hoping that was going to vault us into the NIT.
And
it did not.
Into the NCAA tournament. That's right.
No, NIT, I think, wasn't it?
Brian, you and I were talking about this Lady Vol thing last night, this mess that Danny White's created. And he has
to be fair, Danny White did not want to make a change when Kelly, after that season, it was the NIL folks that he wanted to get money from, did not want to put any more behind Kelly.
Who's going to
because they were out on her.
Who's going to put money behind this? All right, so here's my cautionary tale for the Negadaves of the world and some of you that can't wait for the Rick Barnes era to be over with. Look at that Lady Vol program. In their sport, they got tons of money. They got tons of resources, but they don't have tons of win, and they're not having tons of fun.
They might miss the tournament, Tom. And they've never missed an NCAA tournament ever.
We were talking about it yesterday, Brian, because we were assuming they were winning last night. I called Brian and I said, Brian, they're down 20 right now. Because I'm telling you,
they were a 21-point favorite last night.
I watched the press conference last night. I mean, I'm engaged in that product, what she's doing. I've never seen a team walk down the floor like her team does after giving up a buck. I'd love for you to watch a game, because I know Shino doesn't watch women's ball, Bino, but she would. Laura and I last night were watching that. Laura goes, they're not even trying at one point. It's like, what? Cautionary tale, okay? To all you who can't wait to get rid of, and Grant in Birmingham's right, you can't wait to get rid of Rick Barnes because you're myopic and you only see here. We took a bus trip, okay? Saturday night in Atlanta. I swear that was Jackson Brown sitting right across from us. Some really like old musician guy during the Buzz Peterson years, a musician looking dude. Looked like just like Jackson Brown. I wanted to walk up to him so bad and go, are you Jackson Brown? Hey, Bino, we could easily be back in Buzzball.
Yes, Tony, we certainly could. It's, you know, people can think what they want. They can covet the coach that they want. I understand Barnes's style isn't for everyone. I understand all of that. The only thing I've ever said is just a word of caution. Be careful what you wish for.
Yep. And all the Caldwell Stormers out there, you might get your wish, Bri, right? All the Caldwell Stormers out there. We got the Barnes Stormers, and now we got the Caldwell Stormers, Bri. Bri, if she misses a tournament, what are they going to do here? Or even if they scrape in. They've lost like 3 games in 5 days. Bri, that's Lady Ball basketball? 3 losses in 5 days?
What might be their saving grace is just the name, the Lady Vol name in itself. They might get the benefit of the doubt. But I don't think if you're them, you want to count on that. But that is possible.
Brian, they might close the season losing 6 in a row. After like a 6-0 start in the league, that just doesn't seem possible. Bino, are you concerned about tomorrow? Vanderbilt's going the wrong way. Vanderbilt's got a kid, Frankie Collins, who, first of all, Frankie Collins is a next-level name. That sounds like a guy that should have been playing bass in an R&B funk group back in the day. Frankie Collins on bass. And there's some funk around him right now because apparently he's been ready to play for a few weeks, and he won't. And yesterday, we had our guy from Southeast 16 on, and he basically said, yeah, the kid got to the 9-game point, and he's going to redshirt and take his money next year. Bino, if that was the case, and I thought that as a coach, I would kick him off my team so quickly, and I would claw back every dollar I paid him this year if he played 9 games and just sat there and acted like he was hurt.
Yeah, absolutely, Tony. I don't know how you do it or how you prove it, but yeah, Tony, I'm the wrong guy to ask about this game at that place.
Yep.
I have a hatred for Vanderbilt basketball that is every bit the equal of my hatred for Kentucky basketball. Only I respect Kentucky's basketball program a lot more than I do Vandy's, but I have the worst case of BBS when we're playing down there of anybody alive, because in that little disconfigured hellhole
that
right. They call a gymnasium
That's
down
right.
there.
That's right.
I expect them to shoot the lights out.
Yes.
I expect them to shoot 40 free throws, and I expect them to eke out a win down there.
And the Miles kid, Bry, hasn't played in weeks. Does he come back? Because they listed him out for Oklahoma. Have you seen the report, Bry, the progress report, the injury report?
No, I have not.
I guess we should gander at
around.
it. Yeah, I guess we should gander at it. All right, let's come back on the other side. Hughie will come back. We'll set up this big sports weekend. I want to talk to Hughie as well about this Big Ten playoff thing that's kind of making the rounds. And Thrody wrote a nice little analysis of Tennessee's new defensive coordinator and what he's hearing inside the building, which is that he's providing some juice. Internally, we needed some juice. Who did we have on a couple days ago talking about? They were talking about one of the coaches that's been highly successful and said that, they just got rid of some coaches just to freshen things up. It was earlier in the week, Bry, somebody we were interviewing, and it's all blurring me right now after yesterday. But Josh Heupel needed to make changes a while ago. I hope for him, I hope it's not too late. I really do. I hope it's not. But he needed to make changes a while ago. And Thrody said that his information is this guy's provided a jolt for Tennessee internally. Good. A veteran coach as well, they didn't really have a relationship with, can look him in the eye and say, man, why did you do that? Josh Heupel needs that. Beanstar, he needs that on his staff, doesn't he?
I think everybody needs that, Tony.
I agree. Bino will say to me sometimes, what are you doing? Get your head out your rectum, man. Mike Huguenin on the other side right after this. It's beautiful.
It's the hottest postgame show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio Show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols.
Newsflash, Basilio listeners, the spring real estate market just moved up. Yes, it's chilly outside and you're still in your puffy coat, but if you need to sell your East Tennessee property, you could be the hottest house on the block. Hi there. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. February is the sweetheart month of real estate, and savvy sellers know exactly what that means. Get ahead of the game and give me a call at 865-694-5904 or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols!
Yeehaw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues. Every bet type you can imagine. Live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today. Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Achillio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company. You will bow thy head when you say thy name, because the great Mike Huguenin, ladies and gentlemen, is presented by our friends at Gufon Moving and Storage. And they've been making it happen over several generations. And I bow thy head when I say thy name at Gufon Moving and Storage. As Hughie now joins, ladies and gentlemen, the great Mike Huguenin on a Friday. And Hughie, as I welcome you in against the backdrop, brother, that Wednesday, let me set the scene for you. We were on after the Oklahoma game, and I had Maury Hanks, Super Scooper Scout with the Stars on our post game, who's been an NBA scout for years and years and years. We're talking about Nate Ament coming into his own and how the game's slowing down for him. But it was like watching fireworks explode in the sky in that second TV window the other night, Hughie. All that incredible action that was going on, that overtime game with Arkansas and Alabama, all that incredible, the kid at Mississippi State going off on Stephen F. and Pearl, all this incredible stuff. That's the Bonza guy on the big stage with Arizona. Just one great performance after another. Hughie, college basketball right now is on a roll, my man. It's on a roll.
It is, and the performance by Acuff, 49 points. He played all 50 minutes. Philon played exceedingly well for Alabama. That was a wild game, not a lot of defense. DeBonsa he's an extremely talented player. Josh Hubbard lighting up. I think he hit 9 3-pointers in the first half against Auburn.
Yes.
And it's the Auburn irony, Bruce Pearl retires late, so he knows his son is going to get the job. But Auburn's not making the NCAA tournament. They're not that good. I don't think their coaching is that good. But Darren Peterson, the idea that he plays 19 minutes, scores 23 points, and turns to Bill Self and says, "I'm cramping," so he comes out and doesn't play anymore, which is a lingering concern for him. Cameron Boozer at Duke is just a phenomenal player. Michigan looks to be on a different level than everybody else. UConn loses at home to Creighton. There's a lot of wild stuff going on in college basketball. It's exceedingly entertaining. Most seasons are, but this season is really, really, really phenomenal.
Bino, do you find the fact that this freshman class is so replete with stars? Like we were going through a list of guys yesterday and there was a list at ESPN. They had Nate Ament ranked 9. And when you go through the list, like it's kind of hard to argue with it. Like the great young player at Alabama who we've seen, the kid at Arkansas that Hughie was just talking about, this DeBonza guy's a freak. The Boozer guy we saw earlier in the year. I mean, the list goes on and on. No wonder, Bino, they're calling this thing like for NBA draft purposes. The Sacramento Kings have already shut down with 20 games to go. They've already shut down 2 of their top players because they're trying to position themselves to get in the middle of that thing. It's crazy how good this class is, Beanstar.
Yeah, it really is, Tony. And there's, with the exception of Boozer, I think and maybe the kid at BYU, I think the rest are close enough to where you can fall pretty much anywhere in that top 10 and get a really good basketball player with your first pick.
Yeah, and that's really an amazing thing. But as a couple people have pointed out to me, Hughie, because I'm not real bright, but and you know that, Hughie, you can vouch for that. What is an accurate thing to say is, though, this tournament coming up, because of all these star players, the tournament's always great. Hughie, man, we're going to have real live, living, breathing stars in this tourney this year. And it's going to be star on star as we go through that deal. Do you understand how unbelievable it is going to be?
There is a incredibly deep group of freshmen. We didn't mention Keaton Wagler, the kid in Illinois.
Yes.
Kingston Flemings at Houston.
Great player.
He might be the best offensive player Kelvin Sampson has ever recruited. But you also got 22-year-old seniors who have been around for 5 years who are in college basketball because of NIL. So, and you got a couple teams with guys who are getting good at NIL money, and they're veterans. So you're, in some cases, it's going to be an 18 or 19-year-old freshman being guarded by a 22 or 23-year-old senior who in years past would be in the G League or playing overseas or, being a fringe guy on an NBA bench. Instead, they're still in college basketball. So this is the SEC race is extremely interesting. The Big Ten race, extremely interesting for second because Michigan's going to win. The Big 12 race is phenomenal. The ACC race is interesting because Virginia's only one game behind Duke. But there's a lot of high-level teams this year, along with just a boatload of high-level freshmen. And I think that, the freshmen, do they shine when the spotlight is brightest? Can they take the pressure? All that kind of stuff. But the intriguing mix of freshmen going against veteran guards and veteran big men is going to be going to make for a lot of really good NCAA tournaments.
I find myself right now with these star players, I find myself watching more college basketball than I have recently. I find the game more compelling right now being star.
Yeah, Tony, I find myself being less regional than I generally am in college basketball.
That's a good way of putting it. It's a really good way of putting it. Because now hey, that guy's a star. That's a star over there. Kid at North Carolina before he got hurt, that's a good player. You got this guy over here.
Phenomenal year. Yeah, until he gets hurt.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. And to your point, Hughie, because some people don't like the fact that these sports are getting older. But the fact that basketball's gotten older now, it used to be you couldn't wait to start your career, even if you were a European player, and go over and get that check. Whether you were now, what you make in Europe, what you make in major college basketball puts what you would make in Europe to shame for the most part. So you want to hang on in college hoops now, Hughie. That's the new thing. In fact, there's some chatter that this kid, one of the kids that's been out, one of Vandy's key players after their great start, the Collins kid, there's chatter around their program that he played 9 games and said, that's it for me, because he wants to save himself so he can get another year next year and get back in line for some more money. Isn't that wild?
It would be his 5th school.
Fifth school.
He's already played at 4 schools.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's I guess the trade-off, the idea that, oh my God, he's going to be on his 5th school. The trade-off as a fan is that's fine with me because he's a better player and it makes for better games.
Yep.
And I think college football was the same way this past season. You got veteran guys who have been around for a while. You're not counting on, second-year sophomores. You're counting on 5th and 6th-year seniors. And that generally makes for better games. And I think basketball, that definitely shows up. Iowa State's got 4 upperclassmen starting. I don't think that would have been the case 5 years ago.
Hey, Hughie, do you buy the criticism that Peterson kid from Kansas pulls himself out of games and is like him and his team, they're kind of like load managing him this year? Do you buy that? That's been a criticism.
Pull himself out. I think Bill Self, with some of the stuff he said after the game, was a little bit surprised. I think the idea, he's missed, I think, 8 games totally.
Yep.
I don't think he's played more than 28 minutes in any game. Often has minor injuries. Well, is the Kansas medical staff just horrible? Is the kid soft? Is the kid injury prone? And now it starts to come out. He played at 3 high schools in his last 3 years of high school basketball. he was hurt often in high school, took himself out of games with a lot of minor injuries. I think the thing is, is he just saving himself for the NBA and that big payroll, or is he getting bad ideas from his handlers, or is the kid soft? And the idea, one thing that has always struck me about pro sports, I don't care what sport it is, if a dude is injury prone, I don't see how giving somebody like that $100 million is going to make him non-injury prone. So basically, you're an NBA team who's, if you draft him first or second or third, you're putting he's the face of our rebuild. Does he become Zion Williamson? And you're stuck in purgatory. So I think there's going to be, and there was a story on The Athletic today about how NBA scouts say, well, he's extremely talented. All this stuff doesn't bother us. And I'm thinking, it might not bother a scout. It might bother a GM.
Well, you know what, though, Hughie? There's never been a league in the history of the world where more guys get paid more money to sit around and watch other people play basketball than in that league. That is a way of life in the NBA. There are more people at the end of benches making incredible amounts of money that have been shipped off as cap casualties at the deadline. They just ship them around. They toss them around, because they have to write their books. That's a thing in that league. So yeah, from that perspective, and all the load management, the unprofessional load management where they don't give their ticket buyers their money's worth night in and night out. Why anybody would pay good money to go watch an NBA game? Because you're not going to see stars. You're only going to see stars if they feel like playing. I find that to be a highly unrespectable professional sport, the modern day NBA. I find it very off-putting how unprofessional it is.
I watch NBA playoffs because I think there's playoff basketball is awesome.
It's great.
But the idea, I think Adam Silver agrees with you because he spent the last month talking about tanking.
Yep.
But I guess that sort of falls into, if you're a team that's tanking to be bad because this draft class is so awesome, and it is.
Yeah.
You tank and then draft Darren Peterson and watch him play 58 games a year.
Mm-hmm. And don't be surprised when he does it. And when he has a hangnail, don't be surprised. To your point, Hughie, whoever takes him, that's like a guy that, you'd say, hey, I'm in love with her. Okay, yeah, you're in love with. Well, understand this. She's been around the block a time or 30. You don't have the heart to tell somebody that, but you want to pull a friend aside and go, hey, by the way, you're in love. She's in love with every guy that walks. So you go have some fun, man. But don't make her your first round draft pick. And it's kind of the same thing. It's like buyer beware here. Hey, Hughie, let me ask you something. Because we're watching a star be born here, and it's sort of amazing to watch us. This Nate Ament guy has been phenomenal over the last 6 weeks. I'm talking like the lights are on and everybody's home. And, man, every time he gets on the floor, we're having a party. What is your sense of Nate Ament right now?
See? The SEC has got some good players. But, this kid, his upside is exceedingly high. I don't think they'll be back at Tennessee next year. I know Akup is good. Philon's good. The Tanner kid at Vandy's good. But Ament, 6'10", 210. I think he could stand to gain a few pounds, but he's extremely mobile for a guy that tall. Got a really nice shooting stroke. Doesn't shy away from big moments. He's an exceedingly talented kid. And like you said, he's coming on strong. I think it's 6 games in his last 7 with at least 20. Pretty solid rebounder. Great from the free throw line. Doesn't take a lot of bad shots. He's just he's a fun player to watch as well.
Yeah, he's a very fun player to watch. But, I was asking when it's all said and done, where is he going to be in the pantheon of all-time greats to have played here? He literally has been that good. Kind of like Connect was, Bino. Those guys are that good that you have to recognize that they're historically good at your program. They're one-year guys, but they're historically good here, Beanstar.
Yeah, I mean, just to be thought of anywhere close to that category when you've only been here 1 year, Tony, just shows the type of performer that you are out there. You have to be exceptional to have any long-term memory of your time here when you only spend 1 year on the roster.
Yes.
Hey, Mike, Matt Dixon, who's a Basilio Radio family stalwart, mentioned something on post-game the other day that bothers me a little bit as a guy who absolutely loves the tournament. Because of the transfer portal, are the days of the mid-major making any kind of run in this tournament basically over?
I've been talking about with a couple of friends of mine who are who are not in journalism but are big college basketball fans. And I think it's the case of if you have a bunch of role players who are veterans and a young star at the mid-major level, maybe you can win a game. But I think that we all agreed at least that, a run like George Mason made or Loyola made, we think those have gone by the wayside. But the flip, I still think there's a potential because some coaches, they don't get their teams to play all that well in the tournament. There's always a Power 5 team that is overrated and is seated too high, and the mid-major plays them in the first round. So I think the potential exists for 1 or 2 wins, but a Final Four run I think is out because you're right. If you're a mid-major one team that's interesting this year is St. Louis because their best player is a senior, the Robbie Avila kid. I think that's going to be exceedingly rare going forward. And he's there because he followed the coach and thinks highly of the coach. But I think for the most part, if you're a mid-major and you got a sophomore averaging 20 points a game, he ain't coming back to your school next year.
And that's a sad thing, guys.
Yeah, that is.
But that's where we are. I mean, here, guys in mid-major programs that show promise right now are getting phone calls from the likes of Tennessee already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. They're going to pick those teams apart like carcasses, Bino.
Yeah, those teams are the Reds and the Pirates.
Yep.
They're just not. They're not going to keep any real good players.
No, and back in the day, like at Murray State,
they're unbeaten.
Yeah.
Two of their 2 best players are seniors, but I think that if you look a little bit closer to Miami of Ohio, their schedule's garbage. And those guys, the two seniors, I don't think they're high-level Power 5 guys. The shooter kid is scrappy, but he's 6'5", and he's not really an outside shooter. The Woolfolk kid is not bad, but can't make free throws. He is a pretty good rebounder, but, I mean, he would not start at a Power 5, high-level Power 5 team. So I think St. Louis and Miami of Ohio are the 2 mid-majors. Great game tonight. You got VCU playing St. Louis, that's must-watch TV, I think. But I think there is a concern in college basketball as well about mid-majors losing their players. Their coaches have to be even more aggressive than Power 5 coaches because they know they're going to lose a guy after 2 years if he's any good. Heck, maybe even after a freshman year if he's any good. So that means you got to find the next guy. And I think most of these mid-major coaches realize that halfway through the season, my young guy is the best player on my team. I better be looking for the next best guy on my team because this dude ain't here next year.
Hey, Hughie, Vanderbilt, who's gone the other way right now. A couple guys out. The Collins kid looks like he's not going to play, and The Miles kid, his status is up in the air, but they fought hard the other night with Missouri. Came from way back, crazy comeback in that game. Almost had a crazy, crazy finish. That would have made Wednesday night like one of the all-time nights if they would have come back from 21 down and with under 7 minutes left in a basketball game to win a game. That would have made it one of the, and it was already an incredible night. Like the fireworks were going off on Wednesday night. But how would Vanderbilt fare, do you think, if they played like a Miami of Ohio or a St. Louis on a neutral floor? What do you think a matchup like that would look like?
Healthy, I think Vandy wins. Tyler Tanner's a good player, a really good player.
Yeah.
They also have a bunch of, in their front court is all senior. Yeah. And I think that makes a difference. These guys have been around. They know what's going on. I think, Vandy's last 2 losses are both by a point. Now, the Oklahoma loss at home is egregiously bad. Losing to Missouri on the road by 1 without a player, that's not that bad. But I think Vandy is a well-coached team. I think they're a good team when they're fully healthy, and I think they're 8 or 9 points better than SLU or Miami of Ohio on a neutral court if everybody's there.
How do you see Tennessee tomorrow down there? Bino and I were talking before you jumped on, Bry, about what a weird deal that is when you play down there and you got to sit behind the bench or behind the goal, and the fans are right on top of you, or you're above them. I mean, that place needs we need to give like Bin Laden the coordinates to that place, man.
I've been to a couple games there as a fan. And one game I actually sat upper deck, mid-court, first row. And that might be the best basketball seat I've ever had in my life. I think it's a cool, funky court for fans. I think it's a gigantic pain in the butt for coaches and players.
Yep.
The end of court setup for the coaches has to be exceedingly frustrating for visitors. You might be at Vandy once in 3 years. So how do you get used to that? I think Vanderbilt, it doesn't bother Vandy. I think it is an advantage, a slight advantage for Vandy because the benches are at the end of the court. I think it does give Vandy an advantage over the opposing team. But as a fan, I love that, Jim. But as an opposing team or opposing coach especially, I would hate going there.
Abhor. And that's why tomorrow, when the Vols walk in there, and Bino, another issue with the Vols is I think that's going to be kind of like a close game tomorrow, And say we have a lead late in that deal, I don't know that I trust us to handle it, Beanstar. Can I say that out loud and not offend you?
Yes, you can say that out loud, Tony. I mean, it's been a recurring problem. I will say that the last 2 games, especially Oklahoma,
yep,
they have closed well. That last 6 minutes against Oklahoma, now they let a big lead slip away for it to happen.
Yeah.
But that last 6 minutes is probably the best overall basketball that Tennessee's played all year long. But yeah, I mean, it's been a habitual problem for this team.
By the way, my friends at Gufon Moving and Storage, when it's time for your next move, you don't want to call just anybody. You want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B, and you want your peace of mind intact. Look, I mean, that's your belongings, family heirlooms, things like that. I mean, the most precious of the most precious, You want some Joe Blow fly-by-nighter? You want some like national? You want some people to come in and the crew looks like they came off the set, I don't know, of America's Most Wanted? I don't think you want that. I think you want my friends at Gufon Moving and Storage. Look, Tom, Tyler, the gang, and I shout out Taylor, 5th generation, my boy Taylor. He was talking about Tyler, the kid from, I'll tell you what, the kid from Vandy the other night, Tom Gufon, hang on a second. How about 4 1s down the stretch, Hughie, to get that thing to a 1-point game? How about Vandy almost coming all the way back and winning that game? I mean, I'm telling you, college basketball is nuts right now, the runs we're seeing from these teams.
If it's a home game, it's one thing. It's a road game. It makes it more eye-opening. Let's put it that way.
Yep. No question. And when you're on the road and you come back like that, and that's why when you're playing road games or you're ready to hit the road and it's time for your next move, my friends at Gufon Moving and Storage, 138 years, shout out, Taylor, you're 5th generation. How about, let's say this, they're online at gufon.com. You can check out the link over at tclub.team, part of our couple thousand word blog today, including Griff that has a breakout. The great Mark Griffin has a breakout on Vanderbilt today, part of his Griffin's three-pointers. They are your East Tennessee moving legend, Gufon Moving and Storage. And remember, secure vaulted storage, newest offering, commercial storage, logistics, receiving, storage, delivery services for all your business logistic needs. Find out more because they're taking it to the next level as the great Mike Huguenin is with us on a Friday as he is throughout the year. And you believe we're 4 weeks out from the tournament, Hughie. Can you believe that? How fun is this going to be, man?
You get excited about the tournament, but the season, this has been a fun season, and it is. It's sort of sad that it's coming to an end, but at the same time, conference tournament week's going to be good. I think the NCAA tournament, the first round is going to be good, and I think that the ensuing rounds are going to be even better because there's a lot of teams this year that I think have a chance to win the title. I think Michigan is going to be the betting favorite, unquestionably, but I can look at maybe 20 other teams as going, that team could get to the Final Four.
I'll tell you this right now. This Tennessee team with this Ament guy has a high ceiling. And when you get this Gillespie guy and you get them both you both get them on the same page at the same time. And you got Rick Barnes out there who sooner or later, Bino, has got to get back to the promised land. TJ Ford took him once. How can you make the tournament, Bino, every year and not get there when you're Rick Barnes? How can you do that? How can you have Tennessee for a decade of sustained excellence like this and not get there one time, Bino? Doesn't he have to get there sooner or later, Beanstar?
I don't know about have to, Tony. I've never seen anybody in this uniform get there. So,
Hughie, isn't that amazing, though, how great Barnes has been? But here he's gotten put out in the 2 straight years.
How hard the NCAA tournament is. I mean, there's a lot of variables, obviously.
That's right.
And yeah, it's staying healthy in the tournament.
Yep.
Matchups are gigantic. I think you could argue that, if you're team A, you're thinking, okay, we're a 2 seed. We're better than anybody in our region. We know that.
Yep.
Boy, but if we get matched up against that team, or that team, we're not going to win because the matchups are bad. So matchups that's the most important thing. I mean, don't look at the name on the front of the jersey. Look at some of the analytics and realize my team is in deep, deep trouble against that squad because they do this so well and we're horrible at it.
It might just turn out, the Puerto Rican Willie Stargell says, Bino, that Rick Barnes will be the Moses of coaches. His program will get there, but he won't get there himself. Know what I mean, Bino? He might end up being the Moses. And Puerto Rican Willie Stargell has spoken over here on YouTube, which, Hughie, that dates back to a couple weeks back when we were talking on here, Beanstar, myself, and Brian. I gave the golden nugget that Willie Stargell is a Puerto Rican hero. Of course, he was born in Oklahoma. But anyway, as somebody found. But there we are. As Mike Huguenin joins on the program, presented by our friends at Gufon Moving and Storage. Hughie, before we get your mover of the week, because I really want to get to that mover of the week, where was I going to go? Bino, you guys distracted me. Hughie, what were you just talking about? I've distracted myself here. Puerto Rican Willie Stargell, shame on you.
Matchups in the NCAA tournament. And Rick Barnes.
And Barnesy, yeah. So I was going to ask you guys this. This came up yesterday. This is a fun little thing to think about, okay? About 15 years ago, I noticed I had a bald spot in the back of my head, and I did what guys do. I got the Rogaine out and, and I thought about the hair club for men and this, that, and the other. And then I shave my head. Now I don't even realize I'm bald. I just get up every day and it is what it is. You know, at one time, Hughie, we would watch college basketball and they would call a 3-second violation 4 or 5 times a night. And then the other day it came up on the air. And I want you guys' thoughts on this because there are things that have disappeared from old school basketball that we don't see anymore. Hughie, when is the last time you saw a 3-second call in college basketball? Have you seen one of them this year?
% sure. You're right. And plus, it can be called, I think, 20 times a game.
How about a travel? How about a travel, Hughie? When's the last time you saw a travel?
Oh, but last Saturday. I forget which game, but I think I saw 2 in one day. I think traveling is called far more than 3 seconds, and I think 3 seconds are far more prevalent than traveling.
Yes.
The idea, the palming thing.
Palming.
I made peace with that. But the 3 seconds is, I guess, if your team is front court oriented,
yeah,
the idea they don't call 3 seconds is fantastic. If your team is backcourt oriented and/or has a guy who can drive, you're like, where are the 3 second calls? Where are they? The dude's camped in there. So, the traveling, the Euro steps, all that kind of stuff. I've sort of made peace with that as well. But the 3 seconds, there's a lot of uncalled 3 seconds.
Well, listen. One of our ousters from the Elite Eight, we had to sit there and watch that kid literally live in the lane, and they never called it. How are you going to beat Bob Baskerville? How are you going to beat that team when that kid is that big and he's sitting there standing in the lane, for like 10 seconds? Now, how are you going to beat him? And obviously, they were told not to call that.
Yeah, you're not, Tony. And to be honest with you, that's the only time that I've missed that being called. I think most of the time that's a nonsense call, especially today when just about everybody plays facing the bucket. It just happened that we played against a dinosaur that was down there, Wilt Chamberlain and around, and they wouldn't get him out of the lane.
Hughie, another thing you don't see anymore, the block charge thing. You never see charges called like
the
as in ever.
Refs did such a that doesn't bother me either. The refs did such a bad job with that. But the 3 seconds, that's bothersome.
What else is missing from the modern game? Can you guys think of it? Because we got on the conversation because Nate Ament has this really sweet intermediate game that he's developed where he's taken 12-footers. And most guys on most teams will not shoot that shot. That they will not take. What do we call that? That's not an intermediate shot. What's the term for that? My brain is really scrambled today. What do we call that? The mid-range. The mid-range. Thank you, Bino.
You're welcome.
Hughie, the mid-range is another thing obviously we don't see because of analytics, but we're starting to see a little more of the mid-range shot. Is there anything else you guys can think of from the modern game that we used to see all the time, but you hardly ever see anymore?
Zone defense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can remember growing up seeing a lot of teams play zone.
Mm-hmm.
Syracuse had that matchup zone, which could be devastating.
Mm-hmm.
I think teams are afraid to play zone for more than 2 or 3 possessions in a row because teams adjust quickly and hit the 3-pointer. So the idea of a zone defense, obviously the shot clock has changed some things because that's how old I am. But the 3 second call is the one that is the most bothersome.
And hand checking's no longer allowed. You put your hands on a player. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, Hughie, that they've cleaned that up? What do you think?
Playing defense with a hand check, I guess that never bothered me. But I think certain players were really good at it, and they could push you offline and that kind of stuff. So the idea that that's been taken out, that's fine, I guess.
The Mover of the Week, presented by our friends at Gufon Moving and Storage. Shout out to Taylor. He's 5th generation. And shout out to Tyler, too. But shout out to Taylor. Hughie, mover of the week. What's going on? Who was it, Hughie? Say it again. Your phone's... I'm having trouble hearing you for the first couple seconds. Go ahead, man.
His behavior at Michigan State during and after the game, yelling at a student journalist, "Did you raise your voice to me?" Telling him that was the stupidest question I've ever been asked. It wasn't a stupid question. Plus the idea that one of his players was called for a foul, and the refs, I think, said it was flagrant, but didn't tee him up. Cronin sent the kid off the court, showed him up, which was Bush League, and then after the fact, after the game, in his news conference, or not in the news conference, but in the hallway answering questions, he's totally classy. He always has been. He's a short guy with a Napoleon complex.
Oh, let's go! And he's Maury's boy. And Hughie made him the mover of the week. Presented by our friends at Gufon Moving and Storage. And he's constantly bitching about travel. Hey, Mick Cronin, if you don't like the travel, go get another gig. Go get another gig, man.
And even back to the days at Cincinnati when he won games, he always seemed pained. And I know he's probably one of those guys who suffers losses more than he celebrates wins. But he looks, he's complaining about the Big Ten road trips. Dude, what
you signed up for it, brah. You signed up for it, brah.
Well, his school signed up for it. I have to admit, there's certain coaches. I've never interviewed Mick Cronin.
Yeah.
But I have seen him many times. It's probably he irritates me. And the other day, he really irritated me because the question wasn't that stupid. And then the idea that you're upbraiding a college kid because he tried to ask you a follow-up, and everybody was shouting, so the kid shouted as well. And it's like, Mick Cronin, you're not any kind of arbiter, so don't pretend to be one.
Oh, Hughie Love. Thank you, man. Good talking to you.
All right.
Hughie, on the way out, how much Winter Olympics you watching?
I have watched maybe 15 minutes.
The female figure skater that won last night, won the gold yesterday, is one of the great sporting events I've seen in a while. She quit skating competitively. It's an awesome story. And her going over and hugging the gal from China when she got on the podium is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I mean, it was really cool.
I'm reading a lot about it, but I'm not watching much of it because one of the reasons is too much good college basketball, and tomorrow is incredible day.
Hughie, love you. Thank you. See, Hughie keeps it real while those others keep it plastic. And he went all in on Maury Hanks's boy, Bino. Do you like stuff like that? And rather than leaving a tender moment alone, Bino, I pointed it out. Do you have a thought on that, Bino?
Yeah, Tony, that was classic. I liked the other night when you were going all in on Pat Adams, and Maury let you know he was one of his guys. And I think the best part of that Mick Cronin story was actually in the other locker room when they asked Izzo. Izzo said, "Well, I guess Mick just upgraded it to a flagrant 2."
As we come back on the other side, it is unbelievable, Andy. We have Sammy and the Ridge Edibles making an appearance in our chat today over on YouTube. We're going to continue. It is absolutely beautiful as we continue with more after this.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gufon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gufon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years.
5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gufon Moving and Storage, pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gufon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gufon.com. That's Gufon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gufon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires. Just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Cold weather is here. Is your heating system ready and running efficiently? Don't wait to find out. A simple tune-up now can help prevent costly breakdowns when you need your heat the most. Right now, Pipe Wrench is offering a $79 heating system tune-up to keep your home warm, safe, and worry-free all winter long. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune every part of your heating system for maximum efficiency and comfort, helping you avoid surprise breakdowns and high energy bills. And with Pipe Wrench Home Service's same-day service guarantee, you won't be left out in the cold waiting for help. Your comfort isn't just our job, it's our promise. Schedule your $79 heating system tune-up today at PipeWrench.com before winter decides to test your heater. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. For standard systems only, visit PipeWrench.com for details.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Living Vol fan, when it's time to get ready for 2026 and what's ahead, there's only one place. It's Alumni Hall, the best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands, Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. And check this out. All the basketball stuff that the Tennessee basketball fan could ever need. Some great Tennessee baseball stuff as well. Any season, any reason. Alumni Hall, 3 locations in Knoxville. Also Murfreesboro, Bristol, and now open, of course, in Johnson City. And anytime online, alumnihall.com. Say it loud, say it proud. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the volunteer state by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof. T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka, and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Please drink responsibly. So I was talking to Hugh and we got done about the, kind of the Winter Olympics. Today, this afternoon, the U.S. taking on a very game opponent in the semifinal. And here's the thing, maybe as you're hearing this, and here's the thing, that's great sport. I mean, those are high-level professional hockey players out there doing their thing, but looking at that skating last night and just kind of putting yourself in the mind of those people, and I know from like our small corner of the world, performing, like in my mind, I just have a heart for performers because I've choked before. I've choked. And it's hard. Like I've choked playing music. I've choked doing this. I've choked. And it's, it's tough. Cannot imagine what it would be like to be one of these figure skaters or one of these downhill skiers, and your whole very existence has been about what you're about to do. Everything about it. It is the World Series and Super Bowl, national championship, and the Masters all rolled into one in your discipline. And they hit that starting gate, and you got to go flying 70 miles an hour down that mountain, and don't you dare miss a gate. I can't imagine the pressure. I just can't imagine. This girl last night or yesterday from the U.S., she got burned out and quit skating. She's 20 years old. And she's got the multicolored hair and all this stuff. And she's just very free-spirited and smiling. She gave an interview afterwards, which, in light of what happened yesterday, I so needed that in light of what happened in our community yesterday. And I didn't know, like I told you before, I stay ignorant
Well, that's a cut, I stay ignorant when it comes to the Olympics, so I can watch it with Laura at night, and it's kind of new to us. But she tells the interviewer after she gets done, she said, I used to feel so much pressure, and now it was just such a joy to get here. She said, I wish my skate could have gone on forever. She said, I had that vibe. And I thought to myself, that's such an amazing thing to say. And then the other thing is, she was so happy for this young kid, like 15-year-old kids or 16-year-old kid skating from China, who really was not even supposed to be in that spot and went out and balled out last night and won a bronze. And I just think that, in sport, we have to acknowledge how hard it must be to be in that arena. Like, think about what it must have been like to be Carson Beck in that locker room after everybody knows you're getting ready to score and win a national championship and restore Miami back to glory. But you threw that interception. Imagine what that must be like for that kid to walk off that field.
Yeah, it's Tony, like you, I've choked at some point in everything that I've done.
Yeah.
And I've never has it been on a stage like those performers have to perform on, and never in something anywhere close to the Olympics. It takes us. It just takes a special mental toughness to put yourself on that stage like that.
I mean, and these skiers, you could say what you want to say about the Winter Olympics. You don't identify with it, whatever. Okay, that's fine. I get that. I've never skied in my life, but I grew up in a cold climate. I have no desire to put a pair of skis. I'm clumsy as it is. I have trouble walking. I trip over things half the time. Laura will be screaming from the upstairs, "Are you okay?" It's like, yeah, I'm okay. I just fell down again because I'm a goofball. I cannot imagine going 70 miles an hour down a hill on a sheet of ice and having to perform. I mean, okay. And it's the biggest thing in the world to you. It's like the biggest thing in the world, which gets me back to this. So I was thinking about last night, that girl skating and how she's a 20-year-old kid and the pressure on her, and then she says, "Oh, I just felt such freedom." And then I think about how hard it must have been to be that kicker at UT last year and keep missing those kicks and have to show up and face your teammates every day. And you saw that poor kid's body language. First of all, he's a ruddy-faced looking youngster to begin with. He's young looking. But Bino, as the season went on, it's almost like that kid started at 21 years of age. And by the time they were done, he looked like a 13-year-old kid trying to kick out there. And I hate it for him. I hate it for him.
It's just so hard, Tony. It's just so hard to live in the moment and not live either in the past or be worried about the future in anything that you do. But when failure begins to creep in, it's hard not to fear what's coming.
And I'm a real beat myself up person. I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine being one of those kids, or like Laura and I were talking, watching the parents last night, being a parent of one of those kids, or that's your brother or your sister out there. I just can't imagine what that feels like. It's got to be just so, I don't know.
It's just got to be so incredible. And we don't do it, We don't on the post-game show, we're very cut and dried in the moment. Screw that guy. Get another kicker. Because truly, that's what this is. I mean, that kid had a spot last year, Bino, that hundreds of kids would have aspired to be in. That's the crazy thing about these sports that we watch and enjoy.
Yeah.
There are hundreds of people that want to be in that spot. But we don't ever consider that's tough. And I just had that thought last night when I was watching that. Isn't it crazy, guys, how basketball's changed when you start thinking about the little subtle changes to it that you don't even realize that they've changed? And I'm going to tie it into baseball season. So I was told that UT is telling people that it's point of emphasis this year. They're sharing with the media that these umpires have been told to call more strikes, to widen the strike zone. Whoever decided to do that, here's what I got to say to you. Swing the damn bat. If it's close, swing the damn bat. Quit squeezing college pitchers. Quit squeezing college pitchers. I'm so glad they do that. And if it means that we endure a few more strikeouts a game and a few less runs a game, I am for it, not against it. Beanstar, what do you say to this new point of emphasis of these umpires are going to start calling a lot of things more closely?
I was not a pitcher, Tony. Screw pitchers.
Don't you hate watching all those walk zone college baseball? Yes, you do.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I'd rather I'd rather it not be somebody just standing up there watching pitches. But
Brian, where are you on it? I love the fact that it's a point of emphasis now that you better swing the bat, and these teams know it.
You can't do Will Helfand like that. Come on now.
Yeah, Willie. Another episode of the Starting Rotation is dropped, by the way, and it's excellent. And Kyle, Blackburn, and Matt have dropped another Middle Eight podcast. I'd encourage you to check it out as well. Two excellent podcasts that we're growing here as part of the family, the famiglia. Bino with the screw pitchers line. Brian, what do you say? I think that's a good change for college baseball.
I think sometimes, and I love watching the product, but some of the games can drag on a little bit long. And MLB has done a nice job of getting some of their games to speed up somewhat. So I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for, but
no, it's your opinion. It's your opinion. I'm asking the living listener. When you go to a college baseball game and it turns into a 4.5 hour affair because they're out there walking everybody, swing the bat. Swing the bat. Bino's like, oh, come on. Hey, Bino, so we've got that to discuss. We've got the weekend, and are you afraid of the Vandy game, or is Tennessee get down there and take care of business? A Tennessee team that's won 7 of 8, but is going to be in a road environment tomorrow that's pretty unique, rather interesting, rather insane, if you ask me, kind of unfair. Who's your pick to click tomorrow, Bino, if it happens for the Vols? Who's your pick to click? Who goes off?
Tony, I think it's going to be I think Okpara, if he extends the play that we saw the other night, I think he can be a real issue for Vandy.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. He could out-physical them.
He had it was Rocky 3 City for him. Now he had the eye of the tiger the other night.
Yeah, that's as well as we've seen him play in a Tennessee uniform.
It's like
I thought he was really good the other night.
It's like he just got a text, that his girlfriend broke up with him or something. He was like pissed. He was like pissed.
Yeah, he was playing angry. Mm-hmm.
I'm for it. We'll go to the phones. 865-200-5402. Bino, Major League Baseball this year. The pitch system that they're doing, the replay system, for it or against it? It's another thing I want to throw out there.
For a guy that's become anti-replay, I'm for it, Tony. I think it's a good addition, and it seems to be efficient.
That's the only thing. If you're going to do replay, the only thing I ask is I want it done within 5 seconds, which if you watch minor league ball or you watch spring training ball, and I was telling last year, I came back from spring training and saw it, and it was so instantaneous that we didn't even know what happened because a ball was called, and then it said strike on the scoreboard because somebody went like this on the top of their head and touched their head, and strike 2 seconds later. No problem with it. Question for you, Bino. Does that going to help going forward the pitcher or the batter more in Major League Baseball? Who do you think it helps more? And you better be careful the way you answer this, or you're going to get a series of angry texts from a mutual friend of ours, Bino, is going to cuss you a blue streak.
I know they're monitoring. I have no idea, Tony. I think it's going to help guys like Judge who get that shoe top strike called on them a whole lot.
Judge guy.
I don't know about people with normal strike zones.
Just freaking Judge. How did you tie that back into Judge, Bino? And take a side. I think it helps. I
don't know. I don't know, Tony, until I see it. I don't know who it's going to help.
To the phones we go. 865-200-5402. I think it helps the pitcher. It's going to help the pitcher more. I think the pitchers get more stuff called than don't. Now, would Greg Maddux have still been in the Hall of Fame if you had this? Interesting. Let's go to the phone.
He would have figured a way.
He would have figured a way. But you know what? You know what? It's got to be.
I think it's going to help anybody that C.B. Buckner or Angel Hernandez.
Oh, my gosh. That Buckner guy. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
How my friend's compatriots doing today?
There he is. Coming loud and coming proud.
I got a couple of basketball points and some Olympic points.
Interesting.
A lot of people don't know this, but Pat Summitt hated Vandy's gym too. And I've been there, I think, about 10 times. And if you can believe it, I've been there twice when the SEC tournament was held there. And she wanted them to do what Texas did to their football field. Dig a hole, lower the court, and then the first 10 rows wouldn't be at neck-chin level. And she was big on trying to get that forced. Of course, they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Have you ever, Texas did that in football. Do y'all know about that?
No.
You can talk to Jinxie about the full story. The first 5 or 6 rows at the old Texas football stadium, I'm talking about the Longhorns, they couldn't see over the bench.
Mm-hmm.
So they dug a hole, lowered the field, and all of a sudden those first few rows became the wine and cheese and shrimp seats that everybody wanted.
Wait a second. Wouldn't you have to raise the field so I could see them from field level? Why would lowering...
No, by lowering the field, you lowered the heads of all the people standing on the sidelines. So instead of being on row 1, 2 to 5...
Oh, that's right. That's counterintuitive to me. For some reason, Bino, did you get it right away, Bino, or were you like me that it kind of tricked your brain?